It is a Friday edition. Here I am of Ben at 10. So good morning here. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. It is your live streaming show for our region, that being what people call Kentuckiana or Southern Indiana, Metro Louisville, Kentucky, the Ohio Valley. And we've got a lot of sunshine across the area. Had that storm threat yesterday. Thankfully, a lot of us dodged the storm threat, but it was kind of exciting up in Bloomington. They had a tornado touchdown, and so my daughter had to seek shelter last night in the basement of their dorm. Thankfully, everybody's okay, but there was a report of a roof off a bank there and some damage to the airport. Kind of the west side of Bloomington was power outages there. So I think that was the closest tornado to our area. And then there was some large hail in some areas over parts of Kentucky as well. But it is a beautiful start to the day. Hey, if you're just joining the show, thanks for liking or sharing or subscribing or following, all that good stuff that helps spread out the show. Oh, there's Desi here behind me, just chilling on a Friday morning. So it is February the 20th. Today's kind of interesting day as far as climatology. It's when our average high is at 50 or above. So our average highs keep going up a little bit by a little bit all the way through late July. Late July is our hottest part of the year. And also, it is the first time we've ever hit 80 or above on February 20th. That was back in 2018. I think 2017 was the first time ever we had 80 or above. And it's only happened twice in the history of our record books since 1872. 80 or above twice in February. That's in 2017 and 2018. So just some fun stats for you on a Friday. Thankfully, we're kind of heading into a quieter weather pattern. But a chillier weather patterns would be back to the 30s for highs Sunday and Monday. But let's get a look out there this morning. We've got some high wispy clouds, those cirrus clouds way up high in the sky. Those are probably, I would guess, about 25 to 30,000 feet up in the sky. A little bit of high level moisture up there. Might see some plane contrails flying by every once in a while. Outside my weather window, 5,000 is nothing but blue skies, and the trees are bouncing around. It is going to be a gusty Friday. Some of our wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. So we can bring up to the stage here as well our weather headlines here for today. So if you're new to the program, I'd like to give you the weather forecast and current conditions off the bat. And we'll thank some of our sponsors here in just a second. Then we'll deep dive into the forecast with your weather jokes, your weather history, your weather countdown. We got a full show loaded up here, despite some quieter weather on the way. And then we'll look ahead to our next maybe small snow chance and rain chance next week. But overall, I think it's a pretty quiet finish to February. I think overall February has been pretty kind to us as far as February goes. So here's your weather headlines for our February the 20th. So windy and cooler today. Where our temperatures are now is probably where we're pretty much stuck. Lower 50s this afternoon. So back to some jacket weather. Hopefully the trash cans aren't blowing around. I'm going to have to go check on my trash can. It's Friday morning is trash day. And thankfully, I remembered yesterday and I didn't have to run out in my skibbies when I hear the trash man driving up the road and I forget on a Friday morning, which is typically the case. Cold 30s Sunday and Monday, and maybe a couple flurries sneaking in Saturday night to Sunday. We'll take a look at some of the data there. So the models aren't doing great, I would say, for this weekend. The GFS is the most aggressive with like a little bit of light precip late Saturday. Most of the models are dry, though. We've got some really dry air that is punched in behind that cold front last night. So I think most of our Saturday is going to be dry. It might be a sprinkle late and then maybe a couple of those flurries as well later on. So let me get rid of this and add this and go back to this. All right. So again, a beautiful start to the day as we look live there along the waterfront with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Here is a check of your 24-hour, 7 days a week weather resource. We got our live stream up here. You can always subscribe right there. And since we are live from home and we don't have our fiber yet, we've got the pre-order going. There might be a little dropout with the Starlink internet every once in a while. If that happens, it should pop right back on. But just to let you know about that. 50 degrees, our current temperature. Wind gust at 19 miles per hour. But I think later today we could see some gusts over 30 miles per hour as it is going to be a bit blustery out there. So today's coffee cup, I'd rather be golfing. It has been a while. I took one swing in the front yard yesterday with my son, Brady, who is back at school after having flu type A. Yeah, my wife isn't feeling perfect. Maybe a little nudge of the flu from Brady being in the household. I feel fine, and I'm crossing my fingers that continues because I've got the polar plunge in Dean Lake tomorrow at noon. Reminder too, if you ever want to donate to the Special Olympics and the polar plunge, I did post that. I'll probably post it again today if you want to. No pressure, but if you want to donate to that, you can. So let's get to some comments. I see some of those rolling in here this morning. And so we have the internet on my side. It's not being perfect but on this Friday morning, but we'll try to get through it. Hey, Beverly Haggis, good morning. Looking at you across the valley here. And Orlean Whitlow, a very good morning. Windy, 53 degrees in Hodgenville. Happy to be on last night. It's always good when there's a tornado watch, even if we're just saying, hey, given the all clear, because I know people are kind of on edge when there's a tornado watch. So I did want to pop on for a little bit last night. Dennis Gregory was the closest to the tornado yesterday up in Bedford that hit Monroe County. Had the power flicker last night after those storms went through. Interesting, about around 4 o'clock in the morning. Thanks for that report. And my buddy Michael Long, who's a sponsor of the show as well, with American Family Insurance, did get a claim from Bloomington with windows blown out of a house. I think it's some tree damage to the roof. So it was kind of a serious situation for a while there in the Bloomington area. Got 53 at Lillian Lasley's house. Thanks for that report there. Not feeling too bad whatsoever. I mean, it's cooler than the 70s we had yesterday, but I'll take 50s all day long in February. We got a good morning to Mary Dale. Yeah, Desi's right there chilling. She sleeps a lot of times with her legs lifted in the air straight out. It's kind of interesting. That's what she's doing right now. I don't know if you can see that, but there is her her straight legs chilling on the couch. We got a good morning to John Fox over there in the Highview area. Windy as well. The speech did go good. I had a speech to Leadership Southern Indiana yesterday at the Mark Fetter Center in Jeffersonville, the old bus compound there in Jeff, and had a good time. Had a lot of great questions and a good lunch too. I forget the name of the cafe that provided the lunch. Man, it's in Jeff, and it was good. And I wish I could remember the name. I would give him a shout out. If I remember, I'll try to remember. All right, Joseph Benningfield, are you participating in the polar plunge this weekend? What are the water temps? I think the water temps are near 32 degrees because there's still ice on Deem Lake. So it's going to be cold. So, hey, if you guys want to join me tomorrow, Deem Lake in the Borden Valley, come on out and take a dip with me. I got another buddy joining us. We're the Icebreakers team with Extol Media, and Angie Fenton will be hosting. So it'll be an energizing dip. And then I've got, so that'll wake me up because I'm going to have a band night in the cabin, which I can see the cabin up on the hillside, about 1,000 feet up there. So it'll be a fun day tomorrow. And you know, there's all that research that say these ice baths that all these gurus are doing are really good for you in the morning. They're supposed to increase your dopamine and make you feel super good. So we'll give it. I did it like 22 years ago, maybe back in at the Lake of the Ozarks when I worked for KRCG in Jefferson, in central Missouri, the heart of Missouri, the capital of Missouri. We've got a good morning here. Crazy night in Bloomington. Glad everybody was safe. Yeah, it was rocking and rolling. A lot of storms up in Indianapolis as well. And Christian Walker with 33 degrees. You guys are like 20 degrees colder up in central Indiana. 37 in Bedford. Oh, that's not far away. I've got like 50 degrees. A few counties over 37. Hey, I'm on the number 2 coffee as well. Again, yeah, rather be golfing. Rather be here with you guys, but then after that, I would rather be golfing. I need to get out there. I'm fiending for some golf. All right, that's a cool cup. Thank you very much, Orlean. Christian Walker has Special Olympics Indiana, Hamilton County cheerleading practice tonight, tomorrow. Hope that all goes well. And Christian's weather radio went off yesterday. Yeah, there were several warnings around your area. Thank you, Lillian, Patricia, Gilliland. Thanks for tuning in. That breeze is chilly today. Jefferson City. Yeah, I had a brain fart there for a second. I lived in Jefferson City because I was thinking Jeffersonville, and then I was thinking Jefferson City, Columbia, that whole area. Thanks for the assist there, John Fox. Had a good time there. We had a blast. And, we just got married, had a great time there, starting off the career in Jefferson City, Missouri. Started it off a little bit in Peoria, Illinois as well. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get to some forecast stuff here for you guys. And one more look at some current conditions. As I mentioned, there's some chillier air working in as we got 37 in Bedford, but 50 degrees currently in the Louisville metro area. We got the new 7-day forecast I posted here. I've got the new weather story posted here. And so you've always got your weather resources anytime you want here on the maps. And this will be an interesting one. Let me fire up this because this does have wind gusts on it. And we'll take a look at some wind gust maps here in just a second. I need to center up this map. Anyway, there's dozens of weather layers here. I talk about it every day. And this is the wind gust map that should pop up here in just a second. It also clicks. I don't think you guys can hear that, but it clicks whenever there's a lightning strike. So somewhere there are some thunderstorms. Look at that. The winds are much stronger off to the north, up northwestern Indiana and northeastern Illinois, but very strong here as well. Man, it just gusted like crazy out back there. All right. So the temperatures are dropping as well, minute by minute. So we got a drop here this morning, and then we should level off in the lower 50s later this afternoon. You can see that temperature contrast on this map as well. As I see 35 in Bloomington, we got 40s now in Louisville. So that 50 I had on extolmag.com/weather was just a little bit behind, and then some 50s here off to the southeast of Louisville. So a temperature gradient with some gusty winds out there. We got a strong gradient with the isobars, pressure gradient that's causing these breezy conditions out here for today as well. Christian Walker definitely has probably some gustier conditions up your way too. Nope, we did not get any tornadic stuff in southern Indiana our way, thankfully, last night. Again, beautiful sky out there, and I wanted to pop this one up just because we were talking earlier. That was a little nervy situation. Clouds, the kiddos are out there walking around. But again, thankfully, I wasn't worried because the big limestone strong buildings they have at IU, I knew would be holding up just fine with the tornado moving through the Bloomington campus. I want to thank our partners here, Lyons Roofing, LYONS Roofing, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. If we ever get those storms, you have any roofing issues, just keep them in mind. LyonsRoofingCo.com, 812-294-3595. Great folks there. They've personally helped me. I've talked about that a bunch. ivytech.edu. They've helped me out as well. I love all of our partners because they've had a personal connection with me. So they're giving my daughter a ton of free college credits and now giving my son a bunch of college credits as well. So shout out to Ivy Tech Community College. If you got a high schooler, make sure they're plugged in and getting those free credits. If you want to level up, they've got dozens of 2-year certifications that can lead you to a 4-year program, and they can help you find ways to pay and register. And they're a bunch of friendly folks out there at Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg, Indiana, 9 miles north of Louisville. One of our newer partners here, Clogbusters Plumbing Services. In the bottom right, you can text, you can call, you can email, you can chat right there online. So easy to do there. If you have any plumbing issues, if you're a builder and you want someone to help you out, here's a good one for you, 859-762-1214, or just go to Clogbusters with a Z, plumbing.com. And again, I mentioned Michael Long. He was texting me last night. He's got customers in Bloomington, and one of his clients had the windows busted out and roof damage from the tornado last night. And so he might be a little bit busy with his customers this morning up in the Monroe County area, but he can cover all of Indiana. If you want to get a quote, 812-578-3072. Sometimes if you know an insurance agent, they sometimes have to work around the clock when they get severe weather. Also, our partners here at Grantline Nursery and Garden Center, we're getting excited for the spring season right around the corner. We got that spring countdown here in just a second. If you want landscaping services, it's time for pansies as well. If you want to start seeing some flowers out there in your front porch, you can give them You can call them, or you can just go to their website here at grantlinegarden.com. So there you go. There's all of our friends, and we appreciate all of them. And let's get to that forecast here, shall we? Let me get rid of this and add this up to the stage. So also you can ask me any weather questions you want, Ben at extolmag.com, or if you're interested in some advertising and marketing solutions for your business or organization, boom, there you go. All right. So our weather headlines here for today as we start cooking here at 10:15. Windy and cooler today. It's windy for all of us. And it's windier the farther north you go up towards Lake Michigan. And then we'll have some 30s Sunday and Monday, maybe a couple flurries sneaking in Sunday night or Saturday night to Sunday, and not causing any issues with that. Pretty quiet stretch of weather, actually, for our last week of February. As I mentioned, the Polar Plunge, if you want to register, if you want to join me, 10 a.m. to 11:30 is the registration tomorrow at Deem Lake. The plunge is at noon. And then on March 14th, I've got some fond memories of the St. Patrick's Parade in Louisville and the Highlands. Used to take my kids there when they were young, get all that candy, run around, have a great time. That's 3 till 8 p.m. Baxter Avenue and Bardstown Road. The Hibernians presenting the St. Patrick's Parade. I will be a judge, one of 3 judges of the parade. So that'll be fun. Saturday, March 14th. Right after that, April 4th, a benefit concert benefiting Jessica's Journey Foundation.com with the Juicebox Heroes, Suburbans, food trucks, drinks, and the Suburbans. Have a good time. Come on out. So here's the countdown. 16 days. So just about 2 weeks until our time change. Always love, even though we lose that hour of sleep, I always love those later sunsets. And then 28 days. Spring begins in less than a month. That's March 20th. 57 days till thunder over Louisville. And a golf trip for me. 71 days until the Kentucky Derby. I think it's 152. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Lori McKinley saying, glad to hear your daughter is safe from the last night's tornado in Bloomington. I'm sure that you called her last night. Yeah, we called her. We made sure she was safe. And she actually commented on our live show as I was tracking that tornado last night. And Christian, the tornadoes definitely can be very scary. No doubt about that. And I just got a text from Michael Long. I was just telling you about Michael. Oh, check this out. I could probably show this on the screen. So this is one of his clients. Can you see that? That's a tree on the metal roof. A lot of damage there up in the Bloomington area. And that was in that enhanced risk of severe weather we talked about from the Storm Prediction Center. That was a long track supercell that went through that area. So there's a look at all the trees down. That's definitely tornado damage. Those trees are snapped. That is a mess. Took off the HVAC system, and then you got cracked windows right there. Wow, look at these trees. They are ripped. So this is in the Bloomington area. Getting a little glare there. Crazy stuff. Scary situation for them. Roof damage. Wow. So that's again from Michael Long with American Family Insurance. So let me text him real quick. Crazy stuff. So thankfully, I always love a storm dodge because I don't want any part of that. Brenda Collins, good morning from Hanover. Hate the time change. Yeah, Indiana dodged the time change for so many years. It was good when we didn't have it. Steve, looking forward to the later sunsets. Christian saying wow to some of that storm damage up there in Bloomington. All right, back to the weather graphics we go. We're just chilling on a Friday. Nice to have a relaxing Friday. Here's your weather history for today. 1912 Shreveport tornado. I mean, you could get all kinds of weather this time of the year in February. Centenary College struck, 9 killed. The college was hit again in 1940. There's a Midwest blizzard as well. Back in the day, 1912. Severe snow and high winds in Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. 5-foot drifts, paralyzing transport. 1997, a Peru mudslide in the Andes buried 2 villages and 300 people were lost. 2018, here you go. Louisville record warmth. We hit a rare 82 degrees. Only the second 80-plus day ever on record in February on this date back in 2018. I remember that. Beverly, thanks for tuning in. Manual hates spring and forward. I know there's some legislation that they keep trying to push through to stop the time change. I would probably be for that. Lillian, thanks for tuning in. I don't think it really does anything to change the time, in my opinion. Again, have a good weekend. Oh, it is great to have a basement. We've got a basement with a concrete storm shelter here, which makes us feel safe. Marilyn Stewart from Dudleytown, thanks for tuning in here. Lori, my daughter is studying psychology, maybe going for her doctorate. If she can push through, which is going to be really important because I think a lot of people are going crazy these days. Emmanuel says only if it's daylight saving time. And it is saving time and not savings time. All right, here's your jokes for today. Stupid jokes. And I don't care how stupid they are. We're still going to tell them. Why were the soft drinks mad after the basketball game? Because Sierra missed. Get it? Sierra missed. 5 ants rented an apartment with another 5 ants. They were tenants. 10 ants, tenants. I asked my surgeon if I could administer my own anesthetic. He said, sure, knock yourself out. We don't advise that. Don't try that at home. Don't do that. Good morning, Erica. Once again, thank you very much, Erica, for the support for the Polar Plunge. Much appreciated. And again, a couple days ago, I posted about that if you want to donate for Special Olympics. 54 degrees for today. And actually, there's going to be some areas that don't recover that much. I think a lot of Indiana is going to be stuck in the 40s for this afternoon. It's going to feel chillier than that because we're going to have 30-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts, which we already do. My trees are swaying in the wind right now. Sustained winds west at 15 to 30, and then the winds will diminish tonight after sunset, which is at 6:26. And a little bit chillier tonight, lows getting down to near freezing. And Lillian, thanks for loving the jokes. Orlean, thanks for loving the jokes. And Christian with a bunch of hearts there. Appreciate you. And so here's the forecast here for tomorrow. Polar Plunge is this Saturday, tomorrow at noon at Deem Lake. 42 degrees at noon tomorrow, 48 for your high. Pretty quiet Saturday. And it should be mainly dry. There is kind of a sprinkle chance and maybe a little better chance of that in Kentucky late tomorrow, and then maybe a couple flurries Saturday night to Sunday. We'll take a look at the NAM weather model. If you want to see that blue and the white indicating snow on the forecast models, then we'll try to find some of that here for you. Christian, we got the Polar Plunge, as I mentioned, at noon tomorrow, and then we benefiting Special Olympics, and then I've got a band night up in the cabin tomorrow night. We're going to be rocking and rolling and entertaining all of the deer and the squirrels and the bobcats and the raccoons in the forest. And then and we'll chill on Sunday. Here we go with the 7-day forecast. So 48 Saturday down to 29 Saturday night. If you're a fan of winter, here you go. You got some 30s for highs Sunday and Monday, maybe a couple flurries flying. The best chance for some light snow and flurries is the farther east you go, towards Madison, towards Lexington, Kentucky. And then 37 Monday, looks dry there. 42 Tuesday. So, again, a quiet stretch. And then maybe a little bit of rain late Wednesday into Thursday with some 50s there. But all in all, a pretty quiet stretch. That takes us almost to the end of February, which is next Saturday. And then we'll march into March and see what March gives us. I hope March will be just as quiet as February. I feel like February came and about to go with some really quiet conditions across the area. Yeah, we've got some. It's hard for me to keep up with the models here, Emmanuel, because there's the new AI models, and there's just so many to look at and to learn about. With the new models coming on board, and thankfully a lot of them are convective allowing, so the grid space is smaller, like 3 kilometers, and can give us some better accuracy. I did see the end of that. The women's hockey team winning yesterday, beating Canada, and then I forget her name, but the ice skater too. with like the black and yellow hair. It was cool to see her get the gold. She came back after retiring when she was 16 last Olympics and then won the gold yesterday. So that was pretty awesome. Wind speeds up by you. Do you guys have a wind advisory? You probably do. Let me see here. Up toward Indianapolis. Let me get rid of this and add this stuff to the stage. So I should be able to see if we got a wind advisory here on this map. Yeah, you do have a wind advisory. So this is the wind advisory. It's basically Columbus north. So if we click on this, you've got a wind advisory because we're looking at sustained winds 20 to 30, some gusts to 45 miles per hour. Usually around 40, 45, you're going to get a wind advisory. So those are west winds. So if you're driving on north to south routes, that's going to be blowing you around. And that's until 6 p.m., that wind advisory over central Indiana. So the winds are definitely stronger to the north there. And the wind will diminish later on tonight. We can take a look at the models here too. I wish I could retire at 16. 16, I was working hard at Subway sandwiches and salads. I was the night manager at Subway by 16 years old. Subway, and then I worked at another Subway at Ball State, and then I worked at Lowe's, and then I worked at Red Lobster, and then I worked at TV for a long time. And now I've got my own business with this stuff and Extol Media, and also real estate coming around as well. I'm gonna be the first meteorologist, guys. We're excited about that. All right, let's get to some of the maps. Here's the radar and satellite. So what you're looking at here, my friends, is a strong area of low pressure centered right over Lake Michigan. Do you see it? Do you see the spin? There it is, right there, low pressure. And the air flows counterclockwise around low pressure. It is called cyclonic. And so it's doing that spin right there. And so we're pulling in some really dry air, and the cloud cover, it looks like you guys have cloud cover in Indianapolis. We are sunny. We're sunny right now here in southern Indiana and Kentucky. So let me get rid of that. What I wanted to see if I can bring up here, let me get out of the full screen. I should be able to bring up the lines of equal air pressure. Yeah, the mean sea level pressure. This should pop up here in just a second. Might take a second to load that data. Yep, there it is. So here it is. Do you see those lines of equal air pressure? They are tightly packed. So what we have here is these lines right here. And what this can do as well, if you have arthritis, when you have quickly changing air pressure, it can mess with your joint pain. It maybe even cause headaches. So if you're feeling that today, it's because a rapid change in air pressure. Whether the air pressure is going up high quickly or low quickly, that change in pressure, your body has to adjust, and it can cause some aches and pains. Always have a little crick in my neck. And the back these days isn't the best either. So that's why we have the wind, is because of the tight pressure gradient. Let me get out of full screen, see if I can erase this. Why is that erasing? It's not behaving here. Let's bring up the weather model data and take a look at some of the wind gusts here. I'm going to bring up the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. There it's behaving. Okay, so we can go to the model, and then we'll go to wind gust. And I'm going to back this up to basically now. And you can see all those colors right there. So you got the 40 gusts from Indy North, and then we got the 30 plus gusts here around our area and throughout much of Kentucky. They've got like 50 gusts up towards Detroit and right around Lake Michigan. So that's because of that pressure gradient and the strength of that low pressure system. And of course, there's going to be a high pressure system away from the low pressure system that's giving the air to the low. High goes to low in most of physics. So that's the winds today. Now I'm going to bring up, let's just look to tomorrow real quick. I don't think we'll see much. And again, the winds will slacken off later on tonight. Again, that wind advisory is until 6 for central Indiana. And let's bring up the reflectivity. I'm going to go here, jump ahead to tomorrow. I'm going to go to tomorrow afternoon. See if this shows a little sprinkle here late tomorrow. This is the HRRR, high resolution rapid refresh weather model. Let's see if the NAM 3 kilometer does as well at the same time. It also shows a little sprinkle chance. So I got like a 20% chance in that forecast for tomorrow. Not going to be a big deal for us. Let's go to the precip type. It'll be in the mid upper 40s tomorrow, so it'll just be rain, if anything, during the daytime. But let's shoot ahead to tomorrow night here with the NAM 3 kilometer and see if we get any kind of little switch over with the precip type. Yeah, it just shows like a little maybe flurry kind of mixing in there. You can see that little color change near Lexington. Let me go. Let's see how far out we can go. I'll go to Sunday morning. That was Saturday evening, by the way. Let's see if we got any precip showing up here. Yep. So there is the flow off the Great Lakes. Indianapolis, Emmanuel, and Christian. I think you guys are going to see a decent shot of some light snow showers there. And we'll just see how much of that can drop into southern Indiana, into Kentucky. I'd say east of I-65, there's a chance of some flurries here for our Sunday. Let me go to around noon Sunday. It'll be above freezing Sunday, so I'm not concerned about any slick roads or anything like that. It would be very, very light, so not a big deal with that. This is at noon. Nope, that's Saturday. Let me go to Sunday. My apologies. Let's go to noon on Sunday the 22nd. Might take just a second for this to load up. But a cold fetch of air dropping in for Sunday. Tomorrow's winds are only like 5 to 10 there, Christian. I saw that. And up in Indianapolis, very cloudy. So this is a look at Sunday afternoon. Again, areas east, northeast have a better shot of a little bit of this flurry activity. I want to bring up something maybe that is interesting, which is the snow depth, but not for us, okay? I'm going to play this out 384 hours out. Oh, I thought we'd see some. Let me see here. Let me go not that far out. I thought let me go here. Nope. Let me go. So here's some snow off to our east. So over the Appalachians, they're looking at some decent snows here over the next couple days. So here's Monday's map. This shows some light, like a dusting in areas off to our east from Sunday into Monday, and then some of the higher elevations of West Virginia. Snowshoe, I'd like to get back there. And then some snows over New England. So that's where the snow is going to be the highest here. All right. Anyway, not as interesting as I thought, but we're moving on here. Let's get to a temperature map, and let's go ahead and look at the long range. What we're looking at is the yellow and orange. That would be your warm and above normal temperatures, and then that pink to like bluish gray, that's your really cold air mass. So this is Monday, and it does look like it is going to be chilly. These are the air temperatures here Monday morning in the 20s. Do we have a little bit of a breeze to make it feel worse? So this says wind chills in the single digits and teens Monday mornings. So we're going to have a little shot of, I wouldn't call it polar air, modified polar air. The polar air is really, really up to the north here. Look at that over central Canada. Minus 50s wind chills. Could be worse. We're chilly, but it could be worse. All right, so since we're going to be looking at the long range here for a little bit here at 10:35, That means it's time for and on a limb. We're going out on a limb here. We're going out on a limb. We're going to look at the long range forecast, and we're looking at the air temperatures, and we're going to look into March. We're going to see how March will march in. So, all right, we're going to jump ahead day by day, as we often do here. We've got the time to do it today. Yesterday, we just focused on the severe weather threat. Today, we're going to look at the long range. This would be kind of normal temperatures here on the 24th. The 24th is Tuesday. And by normal, I'm saying 40s and 50s. So just kind of coolish late February weather. It's warm to the southwest. And then we go to the 25th of February. This is next Wednesday. We're still coolish, but the warm air is trying. It's trying to move up. And look at South Texas in the 90s. That means the sun angle is getting higher and higher in the sky. You can actually feel the warmth of the sun now as it is rising higher in elevation in the sky. Here's the 26th, next Thursday. We're still coolish. And we go to the 27th. This is next Friday. It's trying to get closer. We're in the 50s next Friday. The 60s and 70s are out to the west. All right, going into Saturday, our last day of February, not this Saturday, next Saturday. Now, this is the GFS. The Euro is cooler next Saturday, but it does show the potential of some 60s. We'll see if that actually happens. That, I would say, is probably a flat jet stream. If we look at the 500 millibar winds getting up towards the lower end of the jet stream, a little bit of a dip, but generally kind of flattish across the area. The jet stream is the barrier between cold and warm. So you got your cold here and you got your warm down here. And yep, we're right in the middle. So it's nothing extreme, nothing super dynamic. Back to the temperature map here we go. Let's go to March. Sunday, March the 1st. Shows the chilly air winning. Pardon me. And then March 2nd, that would be a Monday. It has the chilly air in place, unfortunately. And then we go to March 3rd. The Ides of March are upon us, kind of coolish. March 4th, coolish. We're almost at the end of this, at the end of the GFS weather model. Coolish, warm west, a little bit of troughiness over the east in the Ohio Valley, which keeps us on the cool side. It looks like early March. See if it stays that way because we're looking pretty far out here. This is March 6th. Looks like the warmer air trying to get here. And then here's March 7th. And that shows a little bit of hope of some 60s there. So, you know what? That's kind of good, though. You don't want to rush into springtime. March 1st, by the way, is the beginning of meteorological spring. In meteorology, in climatology, we keep track of spring, and we keep it simple for weather records. March, April, May. Summer is June, July, August. Fall is September, October, November. And winter is December, January, February. But astronomical, the calendar spring begins March 20th. Back to my point, it's good that we're not rushing into spring because then you get everything budding. Our friends up on the hill here around Huber's and Starlight, they don't want all the grapes budding. So you get an early bud and then you get a freeze in April. Then you have trouble with your crops and stuff like that. So it's nice to ease into spring for a lot of our agricultural needs. And the frost freeze program will start to begin usually when when we do start to bud in April. And that means if we do get some cold temperatures in the beginning of the growing season. So you got two time periods when you have a frost freeze program from the National Weather Service. It's the beginning of the growing season and toward the end of the growing season when crops have a chance to experience a frost or freeze. Okay. That was the long range forecast. And so I'll get rid of that. And that has been, we're chilling on a Friday. That has been. Tell you something. The no cream or sugar in the coffee for the last few weeks has not done a damn thing to the LBs. I've got to take a little bit more off than the cream. It's time to take a little smaller portions, perhaps, at lunch and dinner. Maybe that's what we need to do, along with the cream. One step at a time, right? We're not in a hurry. All right, I'm backing up our forecast here. We're going to do a forecast recap for you guys. For those of you guys tuning in a little bit later, did we see some comments coming in that? Gail saying, thank you for sharing that. I always heard about the air pressure in response to headaches and joint pain. This is the first time I've heard it from someone who had actual background in this. Yeah, it does make an impact. Be sure to take a blanket with you to the polar bear plunge. Good call there. I was thinking like a towel, but I do not want to take a hit to the immune system when we've had flu A flying around the house this week. Lily and Lasley, you have a good weekend. And I'll take your advice with that. Christian, we just checked out those temps at the end of February to March. Hope that answered your question. Yeah, we get cold spells all the way through April, so no hurry into springtime. And by warmer weather, the hummingbirds will be back. Yeah, I think April is when the hummers begin to move back in. And Steve saying, I agree, the late frosts have killed our sweet cherry blooms the last 3 years. I think that, we have had some warming. Our average highs have gone up over the last 20 years or whatever by a little bit. And we've been getting more record highs than record lows over the last couple decades. And if that trend continues, it will mess up the beginning of the growing season because you'll get these warm bursts of air like we've had. Again, today is the first time on record where we hit 82 degrees back in 2018. We've only hit 80 or above 2 times in the history, and those were 2017, 2018. So if you get these warm spells like we didn't used to, you get the buds bursting, and then you still get a chance of some cold shots in April. That can mess up some of our budding plants and trees. Thankfully, when our trees get hit by a frost or freeze, they usually grow their buds back, and it's not a big deal for the most part. All right, so let me get rid of that and add this up to the stage. So our weather headlines here for today. Here's your forecast recap here at 10:42. Windy and cooler today. Might just be stuck in the 40s despite some sunshine later this afternoon. We had some 50s early on, but temps have been going the other direction. So definitely jacket weather. Colder 30s Sunday and Monday. We might sneak in a few flurries as we saw on the maps on Sunday, especially for areas off to the east. I think you'll definitely see some flurries in Lexington, maybe around Madison, Indiana, and definitely central Indiana. We've been talking a lot about it. It's the polar plunge tomorrow. They still have a little ice on the lake. It's going to be cold. It's going to be fun. Come on out. It's at noon at Deem Lake. Registration 10 a.m. to 11:30. If you want to join me, surprise me, come out and support. Watch me freeze. I'm sure we'll get some good video from that. Our Extol folks will be out there from Extol Media. Angie Fenton is going to be hosting. That'll wake me up. Hey, we'll see you later, Christian. Thanks for tuning in on a Friday. We appreciate you. You have a great weekend. And just a reminder, St. Patrick's Parade's March 14th. It's coming right around the corner. I'll be one of the judges out there. And there's a benefit concert after that, April 4th. We got some fun stuff coming up. JessicasJourneyFoundation.com. You can find more information. You get tickets there. This is at Melwood Arts Center. Juicebox Heroes and the Suburbans will be playing with that. 16 days till the time change, 28 days till spring begins, 57 until Thunder over Louisville, and 71 days until Kentucky Derby Day. Thanks for the mention there, Christian. Yeah, please subscribe, share, follow, like. That helps spread the show around on Extol Media. And Wednesdays with Weddington, too. Weddington's down in Florida at a conference. Our weather history today, I'm going to put this right on Facebook at noon. You can take a longer look at that. Our stupid weather jokes of the day. Why were the soft drinks mad after the basketball game? Because Sierra missed. 5 ants rented an apartment with another 5 ants. They were tenants. 10 ants. Tenants. I asked my surgeon if I could administer my own anesthetic. He said, sure. Knock yourself out. Don't try that at home. Your forecast today for your Friday, TGIF, February 20th, 54 degrees. But you know what? I think a lot of areas won't recover that much. That 54 has probably come and gone. It's going to feel chillier than that today. And it's blowing out there. Some of the wind gusts over 30 miles per hour, 33 tonight, and the winds will calm down tonight. And tomorrow's a pretty quiet day. There might be a sprinkle chance late day. Some of the models trying to show that. So increasing clouds throughout our Saturday. Kind of a blah day, not much going on. A little chilly, 48 degrees. Average highs now 50, 32 our normal low. Lillian, that is the Desiree back behind me here. Desi, you want to say hi? You want to throw a paw up? She's snoozing. Her legs are down now. That's the Desi. She's the star of the show every time. She's ignoring me. She has her eyes closed. I'm put her to sleep. Here's your 7-day forecast. 48 tomorrow, 30s for highs Sunday and Monday, 42 Tuesday, and then our next decent chance of rain late Wednesday and next Thursday. So we're rounding out February with 30s, 40s, and 50s. Pretty quiet weather. Our February, in my opinion, has been pretty kind to us. And we a lot of us dodged that severe weather threat yesterday, so that was a blessing. That was awesome. And final look outside, some current conditions. We're looking at blue skies galore out there. We really had a punch of dry air move in. Oops, let me bring this up to the stage. Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org. You can go there and see river levels and learn more about the Falls of the Ohio and the fossil beds and the river levels, like I mentioned. And you can take a look at that blue sky, which is beautiful out there right now. And I'm going to do a refresh here at extolmag.com/weather. And let me cruise up to the top here. We're down to 49 now with that wind gust at 19. Some of the gusts are going to be higher than that, though. And we got our live show up there. There's the Weather Nerd. There's the subscribe button. There's the 7-day. There's our new weather story and a lot of other resources there for you all the time. There's a look at the Bloomington campus where they had the tornado move through last night. Thankfully, the campus, I think, dodged a lot of the damage. It was down 3rd Street and I-69, kind of the west end of Bloomington, near the airport, where they had some roofs blown off, tree damage, power outages, the whole deal that you get with tornadic activity. And again, we heard from my insurance agent, Michael Long, who's a friend of the program and a sponsor. Send us some pictures of some of that damage that we showed earlier in the show. And if you want to get a quote, he's not only do you want good prices, you want to bundle and save, you want to find ways to save, but you also want that service. And he's definitely a pro. 812-578-3072. Proud to be an American Star certified agency. Excellence in customer experience. amfam.com. And just search Michael Long. Our friends here at Clogbusters Plumbing Services, they've got you covered through the Commonwealth. They've got the service vehicles to get to wherever you need. 859-762-1214. Clearing the way, one flush at a time. The plumber you want to call, or look at all these little contacts here in the bottom right. You can find them right there. Hey, we're thinking spring. Grantline Nursery and Garden Center. You can go there. It's time to get their pansies. The pansies can handle the chilly weather. And they're having roses coming in soon. They grow over 100,000 annuals. And they can also help you out with landscaping if you would like that as well. It says they are now hiring. 812-945-5676. I think I'm going to pop in there a little bit later on today. I want to thank our partners here at Ivy Tech Community College. As I mentioned, most of our sponsors here are, I know them personally, I've gotten to know them personally, or they've helped us out, our family. So how's Ivy Tech helped our family out? Well, giving us free college credits for my kids. Get that dual credit, that DC. Get the dual credit if you're in high school, your kid or grandkid. Definitely sign up for that. And those college credits, they transfer. But if you want to get hooked up, plugged in, they make it accessible for you. It's our community hub here in Southern Indiana and powering the workforce here in Southern Indiana and beyond. I want to thank our partners here at Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. When we have these severe weather events, if there's any issues with your roof or gutter system, you can get free quotes. They will check it out here for you for free. You can fill out this form online as well at lionsroofingco.com or call them 812-294-3595. And we also have, I mentioned, we didn't have Brad on this Wednesday because he had a Builders Conference in Florida. So I don't feel bad for him. But hey, if you want to build your dream home, we built our dream home with Brad almost 12 years ago, where I'm sitting right now. The journey begins right here with WeddingtonCustomHomes.com. And I want to thank Libs Paving. They're going to give my mom a quote for an asphalt driveway soon. That's going to be her birthday present. Libs Paving, the top asphalt contractor around. I'm mentioning them too because if you know someone that needs an opportunity, you can apply here online for that job opportunity right there at libspaving.com. I want to thank all of our supporters here. We can't do it without them. That is 100% true. Okay, let me get rid of that and add this. And this is just a reminder. I am clicking some buttons here. You can always contact me, Ben at extolmag.com. If you want to learn about marketing and advertising solutions, you can just contact me or Jason at extolmag.com. Would love to hear from you. All right. And Mary Dale saying, yes, it was a blessing that we missed the severe weather. Laura saying, oops, I missed your weather all week. That's all right. Thanks for popping in here today. And tomorrow, Monday morning, I am 99.9% sure we are going to be back for Extol Unfiltered. So join us.
I'm Angie Fenton, and this is meteorologist Ben Peine. Start your week with Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB.
Every Monday at 9 a.m. on Extol Media Socials and My Socials.
And My Socials, too. Join the conversation.
All of our social, there is a stink bug right there climbing on the microphone cord. I mean, they came in last fall and they still come out of the crevices, out of the woodwork. Stink bugs and the ladybugs, they're still hanging around. All right. That's the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning, 9 a.m. for Extol Unfiltered, and then 10 a.m. for Ben at 10. And we're going to wrap up February next week and looking forward to that and looking ahead to March. And the sun is shining pretty out there today. Yeah, the stupid stink bugs are still around. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll see you later.